Where the hell did my wand go? There it is. I got some new eyeliners. That's a fun little thing. They're cream gel eyeliners, so I hope they're nice. And I'm really excited about using those. I also have a bunch of other eyeliners. I got like 10 of these. They're black waterproof eyeliners. They really do work. They lasted an entire day. They did not last a night because I did fall asleep with it on and it was smudged all over my face. So clearly I cry so much in my sleep that it can disintegrate makeup. When I lay down, my eyes water. They're just irritated, and that's fine. I don't know exactly why that happens. I just know it does. Oh well. Also, I restarted my computer at one point and it stopped telling me low disk space, so maybe that fixed my issues? I definitely should have an external hard drive on my laptop though, because at this rate, I need my laptop to work the same way as a desktop or get a desktop. And getting a desktop doesn't really seem that viable. I kind of wish she was covered up a bit more because it's really awkward having to bedazzle a pair of titties. Because every time I look up and take a step back, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm just bedazzling titties. When I'm looking at it, I don't really see much other than a bunch of numbers. But then I look up at my computer screen and I'm like, I know why people would watch this video. Maybe I should make the title card just her pair of titties. And maybe more people will watch the videos if it's like that. I decided to name this character Lucy. I don't know why. Other than, right here. Right here. It says Lucy. But that's just where I have to place the letters. Which one of them is a U? So I was like, you know what? I'll name it after the first thing I saw that was kind of remotely a name. Because sometimes the letters spell like words out, even though they're completely random. Dear. Sometimes I think about Mrs. Maisel. And I remember that there was a name and someone said it in a weird way. And I was like, Maisel? Because I recognized the spelling of the name as I compared it to the comedian, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. And that's the only reason I knew how to say the name in the first place. And they were like, yeah, that's the name. Though I've said names completely wrong before, fully confident. So I fully get it. And I don't care if people correct me, I can say it wrong. As long as someone says it right, it doesn't matter. But it makes people question whether I can read, and in reality, not very well. Sometimes letters merge, and it's a little bit fun. I had to turn my fan on. I'm sweating. It was fine, temperature-wise, in my room, and then it just all of a sudden became humid and hot. Then occasionally my room feels too cold, and then I'm just like, great, there's no middle ground. Though I have to leave my fan on at night, because if I don't, I'm gonna be dying on the inside. Because to be comfortable and for me to not kick a bunch of things in my sleep, I have to be underneath a lot of layers holding me down. And I described it as I kind of need the weight of a person to be on top of me when it comes to sleeping. Otherwise, I will kick the wall and injure myself again. Because I move very violently in my sleep and I do not want to wake up injured. And they're like, wow, you must be so lonely. And I'm just like, that's not how I'm thinking about it, but you do you. glad I can do is get over people quite easily because I can rationalize everything that went wrong and why it should have never happened or wouldn't have worked out no matter what. Put some of my psychology skills to work so that I do not get that upset after a breakup. So I will state it is the first breakup that I actually was like disheartened about. Like, really? Damn. Like, I wanted to try to make it work. It just wasn't. But it's definitely for the better. I am glad I'm feeling better though now than I was last night. Because vomiting for hours on end while trying to be asleep is not fun. The thing is, I never lie about being sick ever. If I'm sick, I'm sick. If I'm not, I'm not. Which is something my coworkers like learned very quickly, which is why they don't hate me when anything happens. Because I've never once lied about an illness or an actual problem or an emergency. I've never made an excuse to skip work for something stupid. I've only ever had real issues going on. Like when I got into a car accident. Nobody knew that was gonna happen. Not even me. I've always loved is the Addams Family. And the reason I like the original so much is because of the point the main characters are meant to be the opposite of what the average family is like. They're meant to be different. And they're meant to be themselves. Imagine if everyone stopped pretending and started just being themselves. The world would be so much more happy, and less people would be dying of suicide. If they were just not judged about being themselves and were allowed to be themselves. We should have less judgment and more just acceptance. I mean, yeah, there are still societal rules and structures we should follow. But when you're in your free time, be who you are exactly. The thing is, according to the DSM-5, I am autistic. I have not once changed how I am for anyone. And my coworkers do give me a semblance of guidance, like a script to read off of when it comes down to the drive-through. Because sometimes I'm a bit abrasive. And I will agree, I can be a little bit abrasive. But I'm not doing it on purpose. It just kind of happens. So I'm okay with just listening because I genuinely do try to be nice. And I do care how people feel. Because that's one of my vague interests.